Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going on the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you, very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. Going back to the names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father name, which means He is or He exists. By Hashem, which means coming in the name. And what the world ignorantly calls JC or Jesus Christ. His name is not Jesus Christ. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yehoshua. It's not Yeshaya. It's not Ashaya. It's not Jesus Christos. It's not none of that. All right. Jesus. All right. It's not none of that. His name is Yahweh Shai. All right, which means He saves or He delivers. All right. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. All right. It's your brother Nayab, and I'm back with another lesson. Now, if y'all can, just give me 2 seconds, because y'all know I always forget. Y'all know I always forget. You know what it is. So, all right. All right, so this lesson we're going to be getting into, all right, it's going to be basically just stay occupied in the prophecies, man. All right, make sure you're looking at all the current events, everything what's going on. All right, because we in these times that once the, because they setting up this whole system and stuff like that through Oracle and all these other things is going down. All right, and what we got to do is stay occupied. All right, in the prophecies. All right, so let's get let's see if they got a regular definition of the word prophecy. All right, so it says prediction, forecast. All right, so let's go up here. Let's get a better one. Right. Let me get this. Now this lesson, I don't have that many precepts and nothing like that, so this shouldn't be that long. It says prophecy. It says an inspired utterance of a prophet. It says the function or vocation of a prophet. Right. It says a prediction of something to come. All right, a prediction of something to come, a sign, forecasting. All right, we're spiritual forecasters. All right, we let you know the weather before it happens. All right, we're the spiritual forecasters for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. All right, and what we do is we go out there and we tell our people, all right, first and foremost who they are, what the name of the Lord is. All right, and let them know that His Son. All right, He sent His Son to come back, all right, to deliver His people, all right, His elect, and to fuck up everybody else, basically. But, people got to go into captivity. You let them know the whole thing, who they are, how they got here, whoever the case may have been, all right. So we let you know things that's going to happen, all right, before they do it through the Spirit, all right, and it's already broken down to us, all right. It was already given to us, all right. So yeah. So that's why you see a lot of brothers, like, they may say something and then, hey, you never know, then that, it just end up happening. It's people that do that anyway. You may say something and then something, then that literally might happen and stuff like that. All right, but yeah, we're spiritual forecasters. I always think about it as, let me see. Man, it's a correct music been in my head all day. All right. So yeah, it don't matter. All right, a pirate boat watchtower can refer to two wings, the crow, nest on that ain't what I'm looking for. What was that? What was that last one they put? Well, they don't want to go back to it. It's cool. All right, it just says a pirate boat watchtower can refer to two wings, the crow's nest on a ship, which is a lookout platform high on a mast, or a land-based watchtower built to spot approaching pirates. All right, and the approaching pirates are these Edomites. All right, these so-called white people. All right, in these other nations. All right, because they are our enemies now. I just want to get that quick precept for that. So let me go to Psalms 83. This is Psalms 83 and 1. It says, a song or a psalm of Asaph, keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. It's like it, y'all. I gotta pause something. Hold on. Bear with me. Alright, here we go. Verse 3 again, Psalms 83 and 3 says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and the Moabites, and the Moab, and Hagarim, Gabal, Ammon, and Amalek. All right, them fake J's. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. All right, and it go down the list. All right, so those are the enemies. All right, those are the pirates. All right, get that down a little bit. Oh, that's probably cool. So yeah, when it says the crow's nest, it says which is a look platform high on mast, or a land-based watchtower built to spot approaching pirates. Crow's nests were used by pirates and other sailors to look for land or other vessels, while land-based watchtowers were used by coastal communities to warn of pirates' attack, the direct people to attacks and direct people to safety. All right. So that's the point of a watchtower, and we can get some images. All right. So this is a watchtower. This is perfect right here. Okay. That's your watchtower. A little bucket right there. So we the ones, you see the dude up there with the, he got a binocular. He ain't got binoculars. He got or whatever type of thing he got. All right, he got a binocular though. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. All right, and he's watching to see who's out there. All right, is there any enemies? And that's all right. We are those people. All right, the prophets are the people. All right. All right, we're the watchtowermen. All right, if you will. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some scriptures. All right. Let me grab this. This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. All right, and that's the whole thing about when you first wake up and when you know the truth. Give me 2 seconds. All right. When you first wake up and you in this truth, you want to learn everything about who your people are, who they came from, right? The ancient, right? Who your forefathers are, what line you come from, all right? How far you can go back, what your people went through, right? You try to dig up all the history and artifacts and archaeology of who your people are, all right? And then you while you're reading, of course, when you're going through the scriptures and stuff like that, and you're going through history books, you see how it aligns. Some things aligns more, but sometimes sometimes Esau put his bullshit in a lot of these textbooks, so you gotta filter it through the spirit, through the Bible. All right. Now, Sirach 39 and 1 again, it says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies." Because you're going to want to know, hey, what's going to happen next? When we going to be able to rule, right? You're going to be like that second Esdras. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that. I don't even know if I wrote that down, but we can get it right quick. Why not? Second Ezra 6 and I'll read 57. Second Ezra 6 and 57 says, "And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us." All right, even to this day, we in captivity. All right, they still hanging Jakes, they still shooting them and everything like that, casting them into jail. All right, putting them in concentration camps, never see from them again. All right, in one door, and never seen again. All right, it says, "But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy people, thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands." All right, it says, "If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?" All right, and we first wake up to this truth. It's the first thing you want to know. All right, let's get that word for occupy though. All right, what do occupy mean? Occupy means to engage the intention of or energies of. All right, to engage in an attention, which is the attention of the Bible. All right, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. It says to take up. Let's see what synonyms they got. I'm better with synonyms. Interest. All right, interest. Involve. All right, busy. Engaged. All right, you want to be engaged, attracted, intrigued, fascinated. All right, immerse. I like immerse because you just like you take a you just marinating in these scriptures, man. That's what you want to be like. It says to plunge into something that surrounds or covers, to plunge or into a fluid. See, engross, absorb. I would say marinate. You want to marinate yourself in these scriptures. All right, so that's what occupy means: to engage, intrigue, involve, be busy in. You want to be busy in prophecies. All right, busy in the scriptures in general. Okay. So let me go ahead and grab this right quick. Like what I said, I ain't gonna try to make this too long. This ain't gonna be no hour or nothing like that. I would hope not. This is Luke 12 and 34. It says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." All right, so wherever your mind is, all right, wherever your treasure is, wherever you got your mind on and you focused on of what you want, there will your heart be also. All right, so wherever your prized possessions is that you love so much, that's where your mind gonna be. All right, and I do want to go back to this Sirach 39 and 1, but I want to get into GNT. All right, y'all know I like getting this GNT a lot. Okay, where's Sirach 39? All right, Sirach 39 and 1 in the GNT, it says, "But it is different with the person who devotes himself to studying the law of the Most High. He examines the wisdom of all the ancient writers and concerns himself with the prophecies." See, that's the point. That's the point, baby. That's the point. You gotta, but that's through the spirit. You be like, man, I gotta get into this. You be like, man, you start buying books, about your people, about the tribes and stuff. And you see how you be like, well, damn. You see how it lines up, right? Luke 12:34 in the NLT, it says, "Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will be also." All right. And let's get that word for heart.
Strong's G 2588, cardia, cardia. Strong's G 2588, cardia, cardia.
Cardia, right? Cardia says the heart. Right? It says the heart. But I got it in the NLT though. Let me try to see if I can get it in the. Hold on. Let me go back, y'all. My bad. All right, so it is cardia. All right, I'll just make sure. It says the heart organ. It says devotes of the understanding, the faculty, seat of the intelligence, the soul or mind. All right, as it is the fountain and the seat of thoughts, passions, desires, appetites, affections, purposes, and endeavors. Okay, the mind. Okay, the thoughts or feelings, mind. See, mind. All right. So let's go back. Let me grab this. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. It says, if ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. Set your affection on the things above, not on the things on the earth. All right, our peoples, what happens is they get tied up down here, and they they get shit, I can't talk worth a bitch. They get caught up into paying their bills and going out on the weekends and partying so fucking much that they don't know how to do anything else but do that. All right, so they end up slaving for Esau Edom, being in captivity. Of course, we in captivity, but our people slave under Esau Edom, or wherever captivity they in, wherever province of the world they're in. They end up slaving it, and then they had a couple of drinks and they die in debt. All right, they die in debt, and then that debt gets transferred down from generation to generation. All right, never ever being able to be paid, but always in bondage because you always owe a debt. Right? You always owe money. Okay, which the money did, that shit flawed anyway. But yeah. All right, so it says set your affection on the things above. All right, let's get this in the NLT as well. Why not? Colossians 3:1 says, since you have, in the NLT, it says, since you have been raised to new life with the Mashiach, set your sights on the realities of heaven, all right, where Hamashiach sits in the place of honor at God's right hand. It says, think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth, all right, period. But our people, like, I got an old head who always be like, well, my people's told me that you gotta be halfway in the spiritual and halfway on the outside. No, nigga. In these times, nigga, you need to be all the way spiritual. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You can't serve God and mammon. You know what I'm saying? You can't serve two gods, my nigga. You can't do both. And then, because with that, then they'll think that they can get away with other things. All right, so let's get the word for let's get this word right quick. Let's get this word. All right, affection. All right. Affection, a feeling or liking and caring for something, tender attachment. All right. Fondness. What does fondness mean? Fondness. Relish, foolishness and folly. Tender affection, foolishness and tender affection is foolishness and folly. That's crazy. That's crazy. Affection, love, devotion, passion, respect. All right, so whatever you got emotion for carries a strong implication of excitement or agitation. All right, whatever you got feelings for encompasses both positive and negative responses. All right, a lot of things down here, like your woman, a lot of these niggas, they give all their praise to their woman. You know, let's continue on though. Let's continue on. It's John 17:20. It says, neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. All right, and that's the 1/3. All right, that's the 1/3. That's that 1/3 right there, baby. Now, when you go up here to verse 9, though, it says, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. All right, that's the elect. When you go back down here to verse 21, though, it says that they all may be one as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. All right, because we all speak this one word, it's one truth. All right, all right. The elders and apostles of great millstone on down, those who teaches likewise doctrine, who has 100% truth. All right, those are the brothers who have 100% truth. There's no way around it. Okay, let's grab this Proverbs. It's Proverbs 8:35. It says, for whoso findeth me life, it says, and shall obtain favor of the Lord Yahweh, but he that sinneth against me wrongeth his soul, his own soul, and all that hate me love death. So there you go. So if you're not following Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, trying to get to the, make yourself right and pay attention to these prophecies and always looking and constantly seeing what's happening next, and you know what I'm saying, it's a whole process. If you're not going through this whole process, you know what I'm saying, you going off. I want to see what this says in the NLT. Proverbs 8:35 in the NLT, it says, for whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord Yahweh. It says, but those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death. All right, when we go out there on the highways and byways, we tell you, you know what I'm saying, they can't see it, but the Most High, all right, he dealing with us, but a lot of people can't see that. It says, but those who miss me injure themselves. All right, so if you ain't paying attention to the prophets, you like, man, I don't give a fuck about what they saying, and you blowing them off and scoffing and all that shit. Hey, you know, when shit go left, don't be mad. You know, when shit go left, don't be mad, nigga. Now, let's get that Luke 12:34 again, this time in the NLT. Luke 12:24 in the NLT, it says, wherever your treasure is, there will your desires of your heart be also. It says, be dressed for service and keep your lamps burning. All right. If you ever paid attention to my name on YouTube, it's Marinate. It stands for lamp. All right. It stands for lamp. All right. The light, like a candle. All right. It says, be dressed for service and keep your lamps burning. It says, as though, and what's that mean? Keep your lamps burning. Staying occupied in the prophecies. All right. Always observing yourself, looking at videos, praying. All right. Doing the best you can, you know. It says, as though you were waiting for your master to return from the wedding feast. Then you will be ready to open the door and let him in the moment he arrives and knocks. All right, and that's how we are. All right, like how you know, like your dad about to come home or your parents about to come home, you know, or let's say it like this, you know, your big brother, he about to come home and he like, hey man, you know, we about to go, you know, I'm about to go and take you to dad's house, you know, but I gotta get off work first, you know, so you waiting for him to get off work. You got your clothes on, you waiting and stuff. He telling you how it's gonna be and you can't wait, you know. But he like, man, you gotta wait. And while you waiting, you going through hell. You know, it's all hell going on around you. He like, hold on. I'm just making a scenario in my mind. I'm just speaking out loud. He like, hold on, you know. But it's like an hour right before he get there or whatever. And it seemed like the closer that he the closer he gets to the destination of where you are, the more hell breaks loose. And you like, what the fuck? That's how it is. So like as soon as he come there, you already outside basically. You like, help me. You throwing yourself in the car, you know? For real. It's verse 37 though. It says the servants who are ready, and cause you know you better go somewhere with your brother and have fun, man. You better go to Pop's house. Pop's got, you know, probably got all kinds of things, you know, from animals to movie rooms and basketball courts and shit. You know, he got the sweets, he got the food, you know. Verse 37, it says, the servants who are ready and waiting for his return will be rewarded. There you go, right there. There you go. You know, it says, I'll tell you the truth. He himself will seat them, put on an apron, and serve them as they sit and eat. That's crazy because I was just talking. I didn't even know it was about to say that. Right? But through the spirit, that's how it feel though. That's crazy. See what I'm saying? See how you be speaking of things and be like, oh, it's right there. I ain't even look at it. I swear. All right, so let's go on to our next scripture, man. Let me get this. This is Luke 21 and 34. In the KJV, it says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, meaning your minds, be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be, you know, let me show you. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be like this, all right? You want to be like this. You want to be like this. You know? This how we feel right now. You know, we looking down, we by that door like, man, we can't wait till we get the fuck out of here. All right? That's how we feel, man. You know? But that's how you want to be. You want to be by that door waiting. Waiting. All right? Like this. You see like, hey, come save me. You know? Come fucking save me. Save me. You know how they be in the movie. Save me. Anyway, Luke 21 and 34 again, it says, and take heed to yourselves lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness, all right, and cares of this life. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. All right, you end up, you know, falling into different doctrines or anything like that, man. You know, getting too caught up in this world. All right. Verse 35 says, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. All right. Let's read that in the NLT. It says, verse 34, Luke 21:34 NLT. It says, watch out, don't let your hearts be dulled by carousing and drunkenness and by the worries of this life. Don't let that day catch you unaware. It says, like a trap, for that day will come upon everyone, all right, living on earth. It says, keep alert at all times, all right, that you're supposed to be that watchman. All right, it says, and pray that you might be strong enough to escape these coming horrors and stand before the Son of Man. All right, so it's a lot of things that has to come. All right, let me go up to verse 33, verse 33 in the KJV, 20, Luke 21 and 33. It says, Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. All right, so these things must happen. All right, there ain't no way around it. This First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 4. It says, But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because we got this knowledge, truth, and understanding. We are occupied in the prophecies, and we see everything that's happening. We know that we are in Second Esdras, the 15th, 16th chapter. We know Jeremiah 30 and 7. All right, Jacob's trouble. We know all these things is happening. It's happening on a small scale, but it's increasing day by day. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Ain't no jobs. People can't feed their families. All right, they're cutting them food stamps off for you nigga women and for you niggas. You know, first so it's about to get hard out here. It says my servants shall eat. Remember that. So First Thessalonians 5 and 2, it says, For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah so cometh as a thief in the night. All right. He come in, thief in the night. What he do? He come in, he got the whole burglary outfit on, right? Right? That's how he be. He going through, he trying to see. He like, where the shit at? Where the gadgets, right? He like, where everything at? The thief. He come at night. You bad motherfucker if you doing this in the day. Well, people probably really don't expect it in the day. I don't know. I'm not into it. All right. I'm just saying. All right, so let's go back. All right, so verse 5 now it says, Ye are all children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Let's get this in the NLT. First Thessalonians 5 and 2. I start at 2 and work down. It says, For you know quite well that the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah's return will come unexpectedly, like a thief in the night, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure. Then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman. Labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. And that's what they got coming down the pipeline. And they wait for you to get out of it. It's gonna be that micro C hip, right? It's gonna be the MOTB, right? And the MOTB is not the digital ID, right? It's the MOTB is the actual CHIP, right? That they're gonna be putting in your ass. Verse 4 says, But you aren't in the dark about these things, dear brothers and sisters. It says, And you won't be surprised when the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah comes like a thief. It says, For you are all children of the light and of the day. We don't belong to darkness and night. All right? That's Esau Edom, man. You know how they be. The dude I think that was in that picture just now was an Edomite, which is crazy. Let me go to this stuff. It's the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 38 and 24. It says, The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow and that glorieth in the gold? It says that driveth oxen and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks. Right. So how can you see? You remember when I said earlier, it was some old heads I know to be like, hey man, you gotta be into this world, and you gotta be spiritual too. No, nigga, that's not what the scriptures say. Again, it says, verse 24, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise. Why? Why would you become wise? Because you're gonna start thinking You're gonna start getting into history or like, um, I don't know. It's something about when the Lord sit your ass down. When he humble your ass, then you start learning a lot of things. Right, compared to somebody just working 24 hours, they ain't got no time to put in for the Lord. You know, they not making no time for the Lord. They making time for Esau like a motherfucker though. And the things that they want to do, they want to satisfy they five senses. Right, they want to live in voluptuousness. In verse 25 it says, "How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, right, and that glorieth in the gold, and that driveth the oxen, and is occupied in their labors?" All right, you always occupied in some other shit. All right, saying and whose talk is of bullocks, right? You know, you always talking about, oh, what you gonna do, this, that, and the other, and you got this planned, and you know you working because you working on to do that. That's why the scriptures say, wherever your mind be, wherever your treasures is, that's where your mind will be also, and it makes sense. You know, if you wake up thinking about um, some folly shit, you know what I'm saying? You probably gonna find some time to be on some folly shit, right? Now let's get this in the let's get this in here. Sirach 38, and that was 24. It says scholarship and other occupations. Verse 24, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 38 and 24 in the GNT and Great Good News translation. Scholars must have time to study. If they are going to be wise, they must be relieved of other responsibilities. All right, you don't listen to, man, look, you got people, man, do you working their ass off, but then be claiming that they know everything about the Most High. But then you will ask them for the Most High name, and they barely even know how to get it out, or they don't know it at all, or their doctrine is all the way off. You know, just have a regular job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Some people take uh, living down here on Earth too fucking. They go, they do it too hard, man. Michael 2:10, man. You know. Verse 25, it says, "How can a farm hand gain knowledge when his only ambition is to drive the oxen and make them work, when all he knows to talk about is his livestock?" Right? That's all these niggas talk about. When you get on the phone with them, what they want to do, they gonna talk about. Get on the phone with anybody. Get on the phone tomorrow with, I don't know, one of your friends. Maybe your friend name is Kevin, right? Get on the phone with Kevin and see, be like, "Hey, Kevin, what you been up to?" Kevin gonna start talking about some sports or some shit, you know, or he might be like, "Man, I've been trying to do this music thing, or I've been trying to do this acting thing, you know, I've been trying to be, I've been trying to do this streaming thing for a minute, man. I've been working on it for years, you know." And his ass keep flopping because he ain't paying no attention to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why I love you niggas. All the things that you put all your money into, and all the goals and things that you want to accomplish down here, that shit gonna fail. And it's gonna be cut off, and you ain't gonna have shit, and y'all niggas gonna bug the fuck out. All right. St. John chapter okay. St. John chapter 4 verse 34 says, "Yahweh Shah saith unto them," it's the red letter. Yahweh Shah saith unto them, "My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work." All right, that's what we out. All right, that's why we go out on the highways and byways, man. All right. Um, my bad, y'all. Let me grab this. It's Sirach 17:17. It says, "For the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel's the Lord's portion." All right. Verse 18, it says, "Whom being his firstborn he nourisheth with discipline." All right. "And giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him." All right. Right now we're getting disciplined. All right, let's get the regular definition for the word discipline. Self-control, punishment, instruction. All right, self-control. All right, area. It says domain, walk. It says self-control, though. To train or develop by instruction and exercise, especially self-control. All right, we're going to get put in situations that we're going to want to do something and we can't do it. All right, that's why the Lord, sometimes when your woman or your family or somebody's fucking with you, you just be like, or you might be looking at a video, you just be like, what the fuck, man, but you just be, you start to be real, it's slow to anger you. You just look at it and just be like, hey man, nigga, you going, you just start thinking about things, be like, nigga, fuck out of here. You know, I know what the fuck I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? It's either that, it's either one or two things, nigga. You know, it's only one thing that you can do to me. You feel me? It's only one thing you can do to me. That's kill me. You feel me? You can unalive me. That's the only thing they can't do. All right, but they can't do it unless Yahweh Shem Yahweh allows that to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, let me go to my next one. Uh, Con, let me get this in the NLT. All right, St. John 4:34. Right, it says, then Yahweh shall explain, my nourishment comes from doing the will of the Most High who sent me and from finishing his work. Right? Let's get this. It's 1 Corinthians 9:23. It says, in the NLT, it says, I do everything to spread the good news and share in its blessings. It says, do you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. It says all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for a prize, for an eternal prize. All right. It says so I run with the purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. All right. You got people to come on here and just be, hey, yeah, man, I got this event. You got people who literally come on the internet once a month to upload like a small ass 3-minute clip of them going out there teaching or preaching, and then like you don't hear from niggas for like another 2 months, or you got brothers who just ain't got it, man, who just don't got that fire on them. Your ass gonna be destroyed, man. You can't be lukewarm in this thing. And we gonna get that scripture. It says, so I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete training to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear, like when some precepts come out, you be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You might have a precept to what the brother had brought out. Respond, all right, like reflexes. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. All right, you don't, because the worst thing is falling out of this truth, man. All right, having that light taken away from you. All right, like the virgins that didn't have the light, which is one of my favorite stories. But I was gonna get lukewarm, right? Let's see if we can type in lukewarm and see what it gives us, just like that. Revelation 3:16. Yeah. Revelation 3, I'll start at 15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were I would thou were cold or hot. It says, so then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. All right, so you got to be hot in this thing. All right. Let's see what it says in the NLT as well. Revelation 3 and 15. It says, I know all the things you do, that you are neither hot nor cold. I wish that you were one or the other. It says, but since you are like lukewarm water, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. All right, you can't be straddling the fence, nigga. A lot of people come in this thing and think they could straddle the fence after a couple years, and they be like, I ain't really gotta do that much. I ain't really gotta do so much. And get your ass destroyed. Um, so what I want to get next? Oh yeah, a couple more precepts, and then we out of here. This First Peter 1 and 23. I'll get this in the KJV. It says, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of the Most High, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. All right, it says, the grass withereth, the flower thereof falleth away. It says, but the word of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. Okay. It's Proverbs 19 and 21. It says, there are many devices in a man's heart. All right. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that shall stand. All right. Because a lot of people got, you know, think about a whole bunch of different shit. Uh, Proverbs 19 and 21. You can make many plans, but the Lord Yahweh's purpose will prevail. All right. So you can say what you're gonna do all day, but the purpose of what the Lord got going on gonna stand. The Lord ain't just dealing with you, nigga. Ephesians 5 and 15 in the KJV. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is. Right? This is Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation near that when we believe. It says the night is far spent, the day is at hand. See? Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. All right? And that's what we doing. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 4. It says, but ye brethren are nigh in darkness, that the day should not overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach. All right, so don't be being raging like these heathens. All right, it says, who died for us, that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. All right. So yeah, man, you got to make sure at the end of the day, staying occupied, in the prophecies, man. Make sure you always looking at the news, all right, and studying, praying, all right. And basically, that's it, man. All right, just another day